Hi everyone, Michelle here from the Creative Cove, and thanks for joining me on my channel today. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different than what I normally do on my channel. I wanted to upcycle some materials that I've accumulated from junk journaling and various other projects. In my past couple of videos I showed how to make these really cute little boho kind of Christmas decorations or embellishments, and as you can see I made a whole whack of them using paper scraps. So one of my favorite things to do is combine all kinds of elements. So I love textiles. I'm a bit of a textile junkie, and I love ribbons and fabrics and metal, wood, all these different elements, and I love to combine them. I usually tend to stick to a relatively neutral palette when I make things or design things, but you can really take this project any direction you want, and that's why it's fun. It's a very easy, relaxing project. You can sit in front of the TV and do it. It's a great way to use up any scraps that you have, and in my opinion, it makes a really nice gift. It's a unique gift. It's, again, something that you can use anything that you have in your house. So for example, I have a few rolling pins in my kitchen, and I'm a terrible baker, so I never use them. So I thought it'd be kind of fun. This is, again, wood. So we can introduce the wood element, and this becomes the hanger. So I have extended my camera as far as it will go with this setup. So unfortunately, I won't be able to demonstrate the full length of it, but at the beginning of the video, there's well, not the beginning of the video, but at the front of when you click on the video, there's the picture of it hanging on the wall. And unfortunately with my setup, I don't have a way to edit videos yet. But anyways, if you want to follow along with me, it's really fun and simple to do. And it incorporates the papers. And I have another thing I want to try. I made these other paper garlands. So I thought that would be kind of fun to incorporate in here as well. And maybe some wood beads. So let's get started. Let's have some fun with this. I'm going to move this guy aside. And I'm just going to put him over here. And you'll need, for this project, assorted ribbons, fabrics, torn fabric, anything really. I've got jute rope here. I've got, what's this stuff called? Suet, I think. It's like a waxed ribbon for dream catchers. It's, I've got everything. I've got all kinds of mixture, torn fabric, coffee dyed, whatever you've got in your repertoire. I've got bits and pieces of chains that I've used up. I've got beads on rope that I've just tied together. What else is there? Beads and paper. So let's find my rolling pin. So I have a collection of rolling pins because I don't bake. Why I have rolling pins, I don't know. And you'll need scissors maybe. You will actually, because we're going to use a piece of cord. Now this happens to be macrame cord, but you can use anything. So an old piece of jute, whatever you have. And what I like to do is I like to tie a knot and a length of cord around my rolling pin. So hopefully you can see this. I know the camera's far away, but you can maybe zoom in. I'm not sure. I can bring it closer when we get into a little bit more detailed work. And then I pull a little bit more off and I cut it. Get that out the way. And I'm gonna figure out how droopy I want it. Maybe you can make it this long and hang something in the middle, but I'm gonna make mine a little bit shorter. And I'm gonna tie off on the other handle. And I'm just tying a standard knot. Nothing fancy, just knotting itself. There we go. So now the fun begins. I've got my base for hanging. So now I can start pulling out different fabrics and different textiles, whatever I have. Try and bring some of that into camera. So this is an old ribbon here. It looks like I coffee dyed it at one point. I find the ends and it's called a lark's head knot, I believe. So let me just see if I can zoom it in a little bit. So I find the ends of my ribbon and put them together. And then I pull up the other end and there's my center. So I take my center, I put it around the cord, and I put my 2 fingers through and I pull the cords through. Pull the 2 ends through. Get that stuff out of the way, and then I pull it tight. And then I repeat the process on the other side. So I like mine to look a little bit symmetrical. That's just how I like things, but there's no rule here. Again, just using up what you've got. So there we go. Same procedure. So I'm just going to keep tying on. I'm going to pull you back a little bit again. I'm just going to tie on different elements here. So I'm just going to repeat the process over and over again, tying on all kinds of different cut ribbons. The only thing I like is to make sure the ribbons or the cords are relatively the same length. So I took a bunch and pre-cut them roughly the same length. So you can, like if you've got a little girl's dress that you know, your daughter's dress that she's outgrown, but it's sentimental and you don't want to keep it in a box, this is kind of a great project for cutting it up and using it and decorating her room with it. Or I just love the idea of recycling bits and pieces. I think it's really, I don't have another long one like him. I think it's really fun to recycle this stuff. Hopefully I stay in frame here. And I'm just going to move along because I don't want this video to be hours long. So I'm just going to tie these on. You can fast forward me if you want, or work along with me, whatever works for you guys. I think this would make such a fun gift. It's so unique and pretty. It's very feminine, but I mean, you can hang it anywhere. Hang it in a living room, you can hang it in a bedroom, bathroom. And it's just a really pretty little wall decor. Here's some really pretty vintage. Like, how pretty is that? So, you know, you can only use so much in your junk journals and your scrapbooking that I find I accumulate it and then I'm overwhelmed with them, and then I don't use them because I don't, there's so many I don't even see them. So just, this is a great way to use up your bits and pieces. When you think, oh my gosh, I have too much, what am I going to do? And I think as creative people, we always have a lot of goodies like that. Here's some knitting wool, I think it was. So just going to sort this out lengthwise. So here's 2 here. I'll put these on. And you like all the different textures. The more texture you have, very different texture than what I've been using, the more interesting the end result. Just because it adds more and more interest. So if you think, oh, that's kind of weird looking, it's not going to stand out on its own. It's going to disappear into all the other stuff. So here's one with the bead on the end. So let's do that one, and hopefully I have another. I'll put that one in the center here. Yep, there's another one. And you know, when the bead might show up, the bead might not. And as people look at it close up, they'll see it. And it's another decorative textile element that you've added by adding these cute little beads. So all I did was thread this line through, right through the beads, tied a knot, fed another bead on, and then fed it back up and tied the knot here. So pretty simple. Let's do this one. This is really pretty. So this isn't very long. So what we can do, and it's kind of thick. So if I do that lark's head knot at the top, it will be a bit too bulky. So what I think I'll do is I'll use a few strands here, and I will just tie them on with a knot. So I'm going to go around my fingers, back around through, pull them up, tie it on, and then just repeat it one more time. just to secure it. So I go around. You're basically just tying 2 knots around the rope, because I'm sure it's a bit tricky to see my fingers there, but you just want it secured. So there's that one. There's another one. I'll do the same. So again, I try to stay symmetrical. So where I think the other one should go, roughly the same place. Especially if you're using bold pattern fabrics or laces and things like that. If they're bold, you're going to want it kind of symmetrical because it's going to change the overall look of the piece if it's not. So there's a couple of ways you can make this cohesive, and that's one, like I said, use as many textures as you can, but keep the color palette relatively simple. So this one is obviously browns and creams and things like that. But if you're into the bright colors and stuff, stick to like a limited color palette. And that way you can really play on the textures. It really gives you room to play with different textiles staying within that color palette. So if you like pink, for example, use a range of pinks and some creams or browns. But don't add, like suddenly start adding blues and things like that, because then it becomes very, very busy. So if you wanted, say, to add blues with pinks and a range of colors like rainbow, then I would limit the textures so that it's not too overwhelming for the senses, let's say. I hope that makes sense. So you can see all kinds of different textures going in here. So let's maybe add this string here, and let's add some chain, like scrap chain. How pretty is that? So we'll throw some chain in there. Again, this is, I don't even know where I got the chain from. I think maybe a garage sale or something. It was an old belt or something. So I thread the cord through the chain, and then all I'm going to do now is go up into the cord here. And I'm just going to tie a knot. So I'm tying the chain right to the cord with this piece of fabric. Okay, and I have another one. Yeah, here's another one. And repeat the same thing with the same fabric. Be a little bit shorter. Boy, I have a lot. I think I need some help. So easy to accumulate things. You think, oh, I love that, I'm going to use it, and then it sits in your closet for 2 years. I hope other people are like that, and it's not just me. But then you come across a fun project like this, simple, easy, fun way to use up scraps. Nice little decorative project, like it produces something pretty, and maybe not functional, but pretty, and add to your decorations or give away as a Christmas gift with the holiday season coming. And I mean, how cool is this? Like, how many people will have one of these? So I'm going to keep adding some more because I do want it full. So bear with me. I'm just going to keep tying. So we've added some chain. Going to keep tying on some more interesting pieces. Keep using up these scraps. And then we're going to add some paper, because I love, again, to mix up the elements. Paper, wood, all kinds of different fabrics, cotton, synthetic, nylons, all kinds of fun stuff. Just keep tying, trying to work as fast as I can, because this part's a little repetitive. What else? Some cord here. Put this one in half. There we go. So, still need a little bit more. It's pretty. Cut this in half, maybe. What about old vintage lace? How pretty is that? Wow. So this might be a little bit thick. Yeah. I don't want it bulky up here. I don't like the look of it being bulky. So I'm going to just cut this lace in half. And you can use like old cotton sheets. You can use, like I said, your little dress that your kid's outgrown, or, you know, sweater or anything. An old blanket. I mean, I just love the idea of reusing this stuff. Reinventing it. Tie this on here. Nice in frame, I hope so. So it's starting to get full now. Just make sure it's all centered here. Squeeze it in a little because I do like it full. So I think we'll add just a few more here. This stuff again. Just to fill it right out. This is like fringe I bought from, I think it was Goodwill. It was just a random packet of fringe. And this stuff can be expensive brand new, but if you're a bargain shopper or you like the idea of recycling goods where, you know, things don't end up in the garbage, then secondhand places and garage sales are a great idea. And it makes your projects way more affordable, which is always good. So again, I'm just tying a knot on this one because I don't want the bulk at the top. Just tie that there. There we go. And what else have we got over here? A collection of goodies. There's some more cord. Okay, another one on this side. And you can just keep going and going. This one. I think this is an old shoelace or something. Not sure what that is. But just another textural element to add, which is perfect. So we got this one. It's a pretty color. Add that one in. Another pretty color. Just want to make sure I've got enough to do both ends like I like, because I do like things symmetrical. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, there's a piece I thread through the chain. So here's a piece of chain with a piece of cord through it. Let's add that to the center. Let's find our center again, which I think is here. So we'll just take the cord and do what we normally do. Actually, this one we'll tie on. Let's just tie it on. So we'll go in between the center of the first one we tied, because there's only one of those and everything else is symmetrical. And we'll just tie a knot. Tie a knot. I've added another piece of chain. I think I'll add just a little bit of this and maybe some dark brown. I think this came out of an Amazon package. Yeah, I keep things. I try to keep things organized so it doesn't look like I have too much. So like all my ribbon and scraps like this just go in a plastic bag and then in a bin. So that's my idea anyways of trying to stay organized. And then it's there when I need it. So when I'm junk journaling or doing other things, I can just pull it right out. Pull the bag out, and have those scraps handy. This one's a bit longer. All right, let me just add some dark brown and then we'll move on to some other elements here. Maybe some beads, and I want to incorporate the paper garland. So this, again, I also got this at Goodwill. This is really pretty and it's elastic, which is really useful. So let's do this length maybe, and this length. So just cut some random lengths, add some darker browns in here. Don't want it too monochromatic, you know, just all cream. Want to add something. And go over here to here. Add this one. All right, and do another one that's a bit short. Do another long one. And further down, just so the colors are tied in together. Make sure there's a roughly the same length, which they are. So we've got some darker brown here. Let's put in some dark brown here. This is where you can maybe introduce a little bit of color. So a little bit of pink, or soft blue, but only a little bit so that it doesn't compete visually with all these textures. Where am I? So they got this one. I think it's up. Trying to find my center here. Just want to make sure I get it relatively symmetrical. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I would like it to look symmetrical. Okay, so I'm just going to back that up so you can see all the different lengths here. And of course the chain's heavy, so it's going to sit to the back. But there's some chain for another element of interest. So now we can do something, I thought, with the paper garlands. So in order to make these, it was the same as the boho type ornament decorations. Let's just put one of these on so you can see. So I'm just going to pull one off, and I did a video on how to make these. So in order to tie them on, to add them, you can add them anywhere you like. I like them at the top. So I find a thin thread like this, and I just go through the loop. Am I in? There we go. And I just tie a knot. And I don't like to glue it if I don't have to, because I might want to reuse these. I might want to move them to something else. Let's do one more. So grab another one. This one's got a little seashell on it, which is kind of cute. And we'll tie that over here. So I just find the string, feed the loop through, and tie. So you can take your paper crafts and your tools and make embellishments like that. Let's try adding something like this. So these I made, I don't have a video on how I made them, but they're pretty simple to make. They're the same cutout stars cutout that I used for this. I just used them for a garland. So all I did was cut a bunch of scrap pages. I'm getting all tied up here. Let's find the end, the notorious end. So I just cut up a bunch of scrap papers, and because this was old paper, it was kind of thin, so I ended up gluing it to cardstock. So there it is there. And then I just put one of those foam stickers in between and a piece of cord, and I just stuck it, and that's it. And I think I might add a little bit of this garland to here. So I'm just gonna take the end of the garland with the string and tie it on. I think I'll just, instead of, I was thinking maybe like swooping them, but I think I'm gonna let them dangle with the rest, just so they lay down like that. So I'm gonna snap the end off. That was probably off camera, wasn't it? So I snap the end off and I'm gonna start again up here. And I'll try and get it in camera this time. Wish I had a bit of a better setup, but gotta work with what you got. And I just tie it onto the main line, double knot, and then I pull down the garland as long as I want it to go. Try not to get tangled. And then I'm gonna cut underneath that star. And that leaves me the string here to tie again. And I just use up my garland. You can make these as long or short as you want. I think these are so cute. They look so cute on a Christmas tree to have that real nice rustic vibe to them that I really like. Just gonna tie one way off camera. It's the problem when working with these big projects, trying to get it all on film. There we go. Pull that down. Come on. You know, it would really look cute on this too, like those little battery-powered Christmas lights in a little girl's room. How fun would that be? Oh, now I want to do that. So, get untangled here for a second. And I think I'll go to this one. I'll see if I want it shorter after. And then one more on the other side. Tie it on the end here. We're going to tie that one next to the brown. Try and get in camera view again. That one's already tied there. Where am I tying? Tied, tied. Oh, it's way up here. Way up here. And I'm going to tie this one. I have paint splashes all over my hand. I was just painting. All right. Come on. One more tie. It's not tying. It's not cooperating. There we go. Got it this time. There. Now we're going to cut this guy. And again, I don't want the video to be 100 hours long, so I'm just trying to go as fast as I can here for you. I'll cut this one to about, not knotted, to about here. I'll put this aside for now. Okay, and let's have a look, see what it looks like. I'm just going to fluff it up here on the side. Make sure everything's not tied together. All right. There we go. So because it's laying flat, anything that's heavy goes to the back, of course, so all the chain will sink. These beads will sink. But when it's hanging on the wall, you can put it so that they sit in front. Just put these garlands here. Pull them to the front so you can see, I hope. Move the stuff out the way. And there we have it. So really cute. Again, with Christmas lights wound through. Oh, that would be so adorable because it really pick up on the textiles and all the interesting lacy bits and everything that we have incorporated here. Now you can also thread some beads. You can do like a column of beads going across like this. You can find pieces that these beads will fit on and just tie them in. You know, you can do whatever you want. Maybe we'll do a quick line of beads, see how we feel about it. So these are these macrame style beads. I did get these off Amazon. I bought these new. Just because I could never find a bead with a hole big enough to thread thick cables through. So this could be fun in that you can, instead of going straight across the top here. So just to give you an example, you could go like around like this, or you can tie a knot at the bottom and incorporate them this way. So possibilities again are endless. Using up scraps, using up fabrics, textiles, kitchen supplies if you're not a baker like me. You can use the stick. So I found this stick walking the other day, if I can find it. My desk is not trashed. I found this little stick here, which I thought was really pretty, like a piece of driftwood. You can tie things onto this, and you can use anything you want. And that is why this project is so fun. And I hope it gives you some ideas to use on how to create these really pretty wall hangings. Here's the beads at the end, and just incorporate all kinds of fun stuff that you might have kicking around. All right, guys, well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Stick around again, hit the notification button, the like button, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'd love to have you back. And that's it for today. Have a great day, guys. Bye.